making it all a well-oiled machine.
No, it's you're right. It's come a long way. Um, you know, back when we were working admin, there was a concern and a focus on making the tournament run better. But, for me over the years, my focus has mostly been on trying to make the tournament. What I've wanted to focus on is trying to make the tournament look better, right? Make it more accessible to people who maybe don't want to play, but they want to watch. They want to know what's going on. And so, how do we do that, right? And Wargaming and a variety of other people involved have stepped up to the plate with the overlay packs that we get, all of the work they've done to pretty things up. I started the intro video thing many years ago, the map intros, and then Wargaming's basically taken that over now, and we're getting some really awesome work out of the video team. In fact, you guys don't know it, but Sneaky was one of the guys that helped me get video to build some of those original map video work. Yeah, he would go in and fly the camera around and just send me a whole bunch of basically B-roll stuff, and then I would slice it up into the video with the voiceover, and bam, there was our map intro video.
And also the sorry to interrupt. The what, man, I can't think of the word. Where people could choose the map, not the map, but the games, like the predictions. I remember.
Oh, you used to run the big prediction. You basically ran like it wasn't like Fantasy King of the Sea, but it was like a prediction bracket, like bracket contest. You were the one that originally started that.
And it's great because that evolved into what it is today. And to my knowledge, every server does it, and they give out prizes and stuff. So
yeah, Wargaming has kind of taken up that mantle and done some things. All right, so ARP just finished their game. They're back getting organized right now. The room is not up yet. The website timed out on them on their ship ban, so we're waiting on them to ban a ship. XDPN banned Howden Liu as we head to Land of Fire, which I think is an interesting, if maybe odd, ban pick for Land of Fire, but we'll see. I'm assuming that ARP is going to have to work with somebody to get their ship ban put manually into the system because it timed out on them, but we'll figure that. They'll figure all of that out. Room is up, by the way.
Okay, I see it now.
Yep, room is up, by the way.
Same here.
So, Liu is on this map. There's a couple of places, right, where you're going to see static play, typically over by C, the long line of islands. But that's about it. I don't know. Maybe at B cap, maybe at A. Sometimes A turns into a stall fest, so I could see that.
A is the one place I think you might be able to make it work, right? Because as we commonly see at A on Land of Fire, there's that big island in the middle of the cap, and you'll take a cruiser and you'll park it in that cap, and you're not really worrying about capping it. You're worrying about denying those points to the opposing team. And the Howden Liu with hydro and then the bombs can at least do something to somebody who's countering the opposing cruiser on the other side of that island that's performing the same function. You can still get damage in. You've taken that piece off the board. Okay, I guess we'll see what happens. ARPDN has banned Kleber, so that is our two bans for the match: Kleber and Howden Liu.
And that rush to get to that island in the A cap, there were a few times when I was playing where I was the guy that had to do that. And one of the tournaments, I think it was KOTS XI, where it was all the Petro spam. Even in a ship like the Petro, it was really difficult to get in there. So it is quite dangerous. But like Raptor said, once you get squeezed in there and your focus isn't necessarily damage dealing, but rather just kind of being that pivot point.
Staying alive.
Staying alive. Yeah, I would know. It sometimes it got a little hairy, but if you do it right, I mean, you're at worst you're denying the enemy the chance to flip it and get points. And if you're sneaky about it, it can obviously work out pretty well. So,
Raptor, you remember the last one we cast on last tournament we cast on Land of Fire, that Kremlin that completely melted, like, what was it, 2.5 minutes, and he was dead? Trying to go to that spot between A and B, that little island there that they always try to shove a Kremlin into? Or maybe it was A. I can't remember which of the two, but I think it was the one south of B.
I remember
took a whole bunch of Minotaur torpedoes and a bunch of...
I don't remember this.
Yeah, it was like, the thing just melted. I couldn't believe how quick that Kremlin died. Like, they were ready for it. I believe it was EU finals, or international finals, an EU team that completely melted the other team. And
Okay,
I don't remember
it's
off the top of my
possible.
head the names.
You'll have
But
to
it was
forgive me.
ridiculous.
After like 5 years and like 400 games of King of the Sea, they all blur together a little bit.
Oh yes,
There are a
absolutely,
handful
absolutely.
that stand out over the years, but they all do kind of merge after a while.
They really do. So, but looks like they're about ready to get started. Shall we roll camera on
we're
this?
getting
or-
pretty close. Well, ARPDN is still missing one player, so let's give
Nope,
them a
they're
bit.
full.
No, they're not.
Oh no, RP. Yeah, I see. Never mind.
ARPDN is down one player, so let's give them a minute. They just said their last is on the way. They're literally turning their game around in less than 10 minutes. So they're kind of on the they're running. They're running between their connecting flights, right?
We don't know anything about that.
We don't know
do
anything.
Raptor?
We don't know anything about that. So so we'll see. We'll see how this shapes up here in just a moment. Well, let them get their last player in here, and then they'll probably drop fairly shortly after we can run the video when that happens.
I know I'm gonna sound like a WoW's boomer again, but I remember back in the day when everybody dropped at the same time, and that was like one of the things. It's like, hey, we got to show that we're professionals here, so all of us just cramming in there at one time.
Do you know? I'm almost positive that came from the people that used to play Supremacy League, right? Like
Yes.
that was a thing.
Yes.
That was
We
how
used to
you
do that all the
that
time.
was how you did it. And so you could always pick out the teams in King of the Sea that had somebody organizing things that had that experience, that it was like, okay, you may now all join the training room in 3, 2, 1, click. Right?
And then like you're just sitting there watching as all of a sudden,
Yeah,
everybody's
suddenly
there.
like, whoom, there they all are. So, okay, right? Yikes.
I remember
mean-
one time in APOC when we were able to manage a scrim against Omni, and when they all dropped in there, it was kind of like a fangirl moment, because this was so long ago. This was still when Flamu was playing for Omni.
Yeah,
and when all
long
those
time
dudes
ago.
dropped in, it was like, oh crap, it's them. Here we go.
Mhm.
I remember. Now, Zath, I think you were there for this. Sneaky, were you there for that first international show match that we did many moons ago?
So I was supposed to be, but then I was in the Marine Corps at the time.
Yeah, I
and,
remember.
we had to go to Australia for a training exercise. So
bummer.
unfortunately, I wasn't able to. But yeah.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah,
I think that was. It was like late 2016. I think we did some kind of international, because it was almost positive. It was August of 2016. We did an international show match with Tora. I think Omni and AOA AAO. That was it. I think we did a show, and we were the, if memory serves, we were the only NA team to win a game, and I think we beat Triple T that day.
And do you recall the carrier that I chose in that particular game?
Strike Lexington.
Yes. No, not Strike. It was did
you run
Lexington.
AS Lexington? Oh my,
Because
ladies and gentlemen.
I needed planes that were tankier.
Yeah.
Because in that game mode, everybody spec'd for super anti-air because you wanted to knock down those planes. And Shokaku, of course, famously had paper planes. As soon as they get spotted, you wander into anti-air range, gone.
Yeah.
And so I said, can I please take a Lex? And everybody just started memeing on it. As soon as they saw it, like the official streams and stuff, like, oh, LOL, Lexington. And we won that game. I actually face tanked with a Lexington at the end. Everybody was like, haha, carrier, let's shoot the carrier. And got themselves spotted.
All right.
And got themselves wrecked.
Everybody's here. Let's go ahead and run this intro video. They're behind, so I suspect they're not going to dawdle too long.
I would think so. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
At the extreme southern tip of South America lies an archipelago rich in history and diversity. Soon, these storied waters will play host to a heroic clash between opposing forces, and the region will live up to its name. This is Land of Fire. Land of Fire is a 48 by 48 kilometer domination-style map with 3 cap points running in a line from west to east. The A cap is on the left, B is in the center, and C is on the right. To the west, the island in the center of Capture Area A makes it a challenging cap to acquire early. Teams commonly park a radar cruiser in the cap to push away enemy destroyers while preventing the other team from capturing the zone. Cap B in the center is wide open with plenty of ways in and out, and is initially the purview of competing destroyers. If combat shifts to an east-west axis, it's common to see some spectacular mid and late game pushes through the center of the map. On the right, Cap C and the islands to the east make it a tempting target for teams looking for early cap points. But the teams who invest too much firepower along this edge of the map may find themselves at an extreme disadvantage later in the game. 18 ships, 2 teams, 1 victor. It's time to play Land of Fire.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, game 2 of day 2 for King of the Sea North America. We have ARP Danger Noodle versus XD PN. So this is going to be a very fun match. We have to the north, Danger Noodle bringing 2 Ohios. Now, one of them is for, looks like close quarters with guns. The other one is close quarters with secondaries built. Interesting. We might have a restart. We have a Des Moines that's sitting still.
Yeah, I see Clax hasn't moved yet, so and we've already
Yep.
seen smoke. Yeah, this is gonna be a mulligan.
Lady
Call
Alyssa
it.
checking her stats.
Yeah. Let's just call it. This is not gonna happen. We're gonna be going back to port. Somebody didn't make it in.
2 for 2 on the
Sigh.
delays.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, look at the bright side, Sneaky. It's not as bad as the state of things in Hell Let Loose right now.
Uh-oh.
No, I love that game to death, but yes. you are right.
I love that
You
game
are
to
right.
death too, man. But the new dev team seems to have made more than a few errors in this last patch.
Oof.
Yeah, it's
That
pretty rough.
happens.
It's pretty rough out there right now.
It's
Yeah.
been a few weeks since I have played it, but I mean, that's turning into my new #1 game. I can't get enough of that stuff.
It's yeah. I know the feeling.
yeah.
I know the feeling.
I want to highlight, I see some familiar names here. We've got Glacial Mark 1, their Bach 47, and Lady Alyssa. So that's kind of cool.
Yep. I feel like I recognize Sigma XY as well. Like I've seen him around for a while or before. I know I recognize Glacial.
Mm-hmm.
There's some questionable player names on this list, Zath. I don't know about you.
Now I have to go look. Ah, yeah, Blitz.
I'm looking at the bottom one on the XDPN list.
It's not what you think.
Ooh, yeah, something about subs. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
He's
something.
talking-
Go ahead.
He's talking about Subway.
Subway. Yes, that's what he's talking about.
Yes.
He's totally talking about Subway.
All right, well, we have restarted, so we'll
Yep.
just jump right in. No need for the fancy schmancy
Nope,
video.
did the video already, so we'll just get the game going here once they are ready to go. Round 3, they can't possibly be ready. That match is at least 15 minutes away. So I see the ping in Discord. Like, what?
No, that's nice. They're just being organized.
That's exactly right.
All right.
All right, Zath, let's try this again. Let's do a quick lineup one more time. Try me out.
All right, so up to the north, our Danger Noodle bring in an Ohio with a turret, close quarter spec, and then another Ohio with secondaries, close quarter spec. Interesting choices.
Mm-hmm.
And then actually, he's kind of a mix, the first one, with long range too, with his accuracy module in the end. We've got ourselves a Goliath, a Brizzy, a Des Moines regular spec, and a Napoli. For destroyers, a Daring regular, Yu Yang torpedo spec, and a Gearing that's legendary, also torpedo spec. What do we got to the south?
Opposing them from the south spawn, wearing red for this game, XDPN is fielding Ohio and Montana, going full Murica for their battleship lineup, just like their opponents. They have also got a pair of Murica to go in with double Des Moines here. That's Sigma and Lex Luthor. Love the name. You have one reload Des Moines and one range Des Moines. That's really interesting. Zath, I want you to notice, by the way, the Brisbane on ARPDN is running a range mod. I thought that was curious.
Yep, I saw that. Let's talk about the Des Moines for a sec. I almost feel like they kind of swapped wrongly because you've got a reload spec that does not have the radar booster module, and then you've got the longer range one that's got the radar booster. You would think that they would go opposite there.
Little strange option there. Also a Marseille and a Napoli here. And then fronting 3 destroyer, that's a legendary gearing. That's Glacial, of course. Splava. Yeah, there we go. That's what I was going with. In the Ragnar. And all the way over
Splavocado.
there you go. Splavocado. There we go. Over here on the left flank, that's Thurbach in a nice, simple daring build there. Look at early deployments. Everybody kind of splitting up.
Something that I'd like to highlight, I saw quite a few on EU earlier today, and we also saw a Marseille in the first game, although it was not played properly. Oftentimes in competitive, you'll see the new shiny toys or the newish shiny toys try to make their way into strats. I'm very curious though, because since so many teams have brought it, it's clear that it's trying to be used for a specific purpose. And of course, with the 330 millimeter guns, you get 9 of them, and you can use all of them bow on at a pretty decent angle. It's one of those ships that you kind of send to the corners or the edges of the map and really want to try to scoot around. It's kind of similar to a Stalingrad, of course. The big difference is it trades the radar for what I would say would be more and better performing guns that you can use, at least when I say better performing, like you're going to be using them a lot more often because this ship is going to have to get closer to be able to deal damage. And I'm curious to see what they're trying to do with the ship over here.
I'm expecting an early rumble at B here because there's 2 radars nearby to Glacial, and I don't think I'm not sure. Is he running RPF? He is, so he may suspect that Yang is around. He actually outspots the Yang.
Sees it.
Yep,
Sees it.
He spots the Yang. He immediately ducks back into cover. They might get a little chip damage, but that's it. But he's also there's also a Des Moines nearby. Klaxo's Des Moines is very close.
Yep. Now that Des Moines will keep him lit with his hydro once Glacial disappears. So this rock here cries out no hiding place for Glacial.
Does indeed. Now the quick daring, that's Thurbot going to be able to pick up A. So we're going to see some early points ticking up for XDPN as his conga line torpedoes narrowly miss Klaxo's Des Moines over here. Like they knew he was going to be there. They certainly suspected it.
Very smart. There's the Hydra from Klaxosaur.
Yep. So
Glacial recognizing you can't sit here.
Glacial cannot hang out. Going to take some Ohio secondaries and main battery shells here. He's going to turn to give him the business with the torpedoes. But those torpedoes are going to be spotted immediately because of Klaxo's Hydro.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Big Napoli hits.
The Napoli. We might have our first blood already. Oh, great job, yeah.
Glacial in big trouble here as Klaxo moves up to get stern shots on him. He's still lit. He cannot get away now. The Des Moines radar is up, picking him up. He's going to be lit for at least the next 60 seconds. He's going to go out.
There's no way.
No, there's no way he's going to survive this.
No, and frankly, when the Yu Yang popped the radar and the enemy ships, from his perspective, started getting spotted, I would have just completely bailed out of there because that Des Moines position at E4 is so obvious.
Crazy.
It's been used for tournament after tournament, and you just got to think that that's where it's going to go, right?
And their Bach even fired torpedoes in that direction. Like they were expecting a radar cruiser to be there.
Yeah. I don't know that I'd call that a misplay, but I'd call it a well-executed assassination on the part of ARPDN, unquestionably.
Real quick, Raptor, I let them know that we are delayed in our other game so that they don't wait for us.
With Sir and Yul, okay? That's a shame. Well, we'll see how this goes. I mean, we don't know how long this game's going to take. And that game's not supposed to start for another 10 or 12 minutes. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'll let them know.
Well, with the early kill, each team on a cap. We're 5 minutes in, and it's a 100-point lead for ARPDN here. CCAP not really going anywhere. The Ragnar Splavocado kind of hanging out over here. His radar's available if a Lady Alyssa tries to contest this cap, but I suspect he's going to be able to pick it up.
Yeah,
well, let's see.
Ohio's going to have to be careful here not to eat too much damage because that Des Moines, when you get into that position at E4, yes, if you stick your nose out too far, it's not going to protect you. But right now, he's got a free farm going on subs, and as long as he remains spotted, we all know that the Des Moines can really rack up damage quickly. So
now the Brizzy over back at C has a minute before Faceless Skull can use that radar again. So here's some blind shots into where they think the Ragnar is. Look how close those shots are hitting.
Not coming up with anything,
French
though.
Radar. Oh, almost.
They're not getting any resets. In fact, there's his radar going up. He's picking up Alyssa now, firing. They can spot him.
Close. So close.
Alyssa's going to reverse out of that. Take a little bit of chip damage for the trouble, but not too terribly much.
Yep. Meanwhile, Splavocado now ship spotted for at least 20 seconds after he stopped shooting. Does have a fancy heal. He's using now.
Yeah, Ragnar's just has a regular heal, but he'll be able to recover some of that.
Mm-hmm.
The Marseille and the Des Moines, it seems like they're trying to creep around the side of A. Yeah, okay, the Marseille is going full speed.
Yeah, Marseille's going for it.
Yeah, I'd love to see the CN push get a... I'd love to see the Ohio also go through too.
Thurbot caught here by Yang radar, taking all the SAP secondaries, finally gets out of it. Got chunked a little bit there.
Napoli's in a precarious situation, though. Yep, here comes the Marseille AP.
Yeah, he really is. No, not as big a hit as I'm sure Baba wanted.
I like the turn in, though. Very smart. Dodges the torps.
Montana's hunting for shells to loop over at Klaxosar, but I think he's close enough to the island. Yeah, he's really wedged in there tight.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Look at that hit
there.
Look at that hit. A good 20K there from the Ohio dropping in.
Yep, that town right there just allows those shells to come right in.
Yeah, Klaxo absolutely the focus target, and they're doing a great job. Here comes some Marseille AP. I suspect most of that will bounce at that angle.
Here comes some Montana shells again from 19 kilometers.
This is like his 5th attempt at it. I've seen like 4 or 5 salvos going over there. He just can't work out that angle.
Super average.
If he wants to clear that island, he needs to get farther away.
I gotta say, at this point, I kind of question the Marseille firing the AP at that angle. Baba takes some torpedoes there, even though his hydro's up now. But subs is Ohio with Laude he coming. He should be able to punch out Klaxo here in just a moment. Let's see, is he waiting on this shot? I bet he's waiting on this shot.
Yeah, it looks like he's waiting.
Klaxo's radar's up. They can see Thurbach. Here comes the shot. They need to get this kill right now to try and save as much. There it is. I was like, they got to try and save Thurbach's health, and they managed to do it.
Yep, well-executed play over at A.
I'd like to see, since ARPDN now is obviously on the back foot at A, I'd love to see the Napoli move a little bit more to the west and the Yu Yang. It would be a shame if all 3 of those ships in C3 and D4, well, they either went together or they all continued to move back. But I just realized that the Ohio, for some inexplicable reason, turned back in, and I mean his life is measured probably within a minute, I would say.
Yeah, this ARPD in Ohio is going to get focused pretty hard here, I suspect. I'll be surprised if he's with us more than about 60 more seconds. His next heal is 30 seconds away, so we'll see what happens.
Now, if I remember right, this was the last person to enter that group, so it's a possibility that they had to get a sub or something in.
No, this particular account was in there. I believe their last one to come in was I'm looking now.
It was one of the KOTS accounts.
No, it was Blitzberg. It was Napoli.
Was it?
The Napoli was the last person to join the room. So he was the one that was kind of running late here. Yep, here goes the Ohio. They make it this Marseille as well. Baba's got his heel up.
There it is.
There it is. There goes the Ohio kill. That's
Subs taking a ton of deep waters.
Yeah, some good deep water work there. Again, we see the power of the Yu Yang. So 10 minutes gone, and we have our first lead change. XDPN is now on the back. Oh, sorry, they have the lead now. They had to work for it after going down a ship early, but they've managed to claw their way back into this game. They've lost control of C. In fact, they're going to have a lead change going back the other way in a moment, just because of the cap control. But for this exact instant, they do have that lead going on.
Sigma now deciding to just take on an Ohio.
check out Splavocado over at C. He's got a gap. It's a question of how much spotting these torpedoes. Nope, he's going to take at least one on the broadside. Can't be stopped. Oh, that's a big hit.
And he
opens fire on the Daring. I really don't like that play. Why would you do that?
Why you do this?
It's like he's like, oh, I took the torpedo. I'm dead anyway. Why are you? I don't understand what's happening here.
It makes no sense.
No, it really doesn't. Now maybe because he knew he was in range of the Brisbane radar, and he was like, well, screw it. Yeah, I just took a torpedo. He's going to radar me anyway. But I mean, the radar's down, so you might as well make him burn it.
That's right.
The fire's going to seal the deal, and there he goes.
Yep, we saw this happen yesterday. We saw this happen yesterday with when we did the replay coverage at the end of the stream yesterday. A couple of times, people said that they basically big-brained and then out big-brained themselves because of it. They're like, oh, well, this is what this guy's going to do, so there's no point in doing this.
Yeah, but you don't know. Make the opposing team make the play. Whatever it is, force them to do it. Force them to burn the consumable so they don't have it for later or whatever. They do finally lose Baba over here on the one line as Napoli's wrapping now. Ohio Gun's looking for him.
And I really like that move by the Napoli. Instead of moving east, he came back around, was able to secure the kill on the Marseille. And now he's sitting in a position where obviously Napoli AP isn't great, but if you get him within 10 kilometers, it can still do a lot of damage. And now he holds a pretty, I guess, annoying position for both the Ohio and the Des Moines.
Lady Alyssa takes out the other Napoli
Yep.
over at
Yeah.
C.
Yeah, the ARPDN guys at sea have been doing the Lord's work over here. Alyssa's torpedoes have been doing brilliantly. Between her and the Brisbane, they have put some chunk damage into Super Average's Montana. You see there the Napoli going out. We know they got one into the Ragnar earlier. They've they've held C so well. And now, 8 minutes to play, ARPDN over a 300-point lead here. It's going to be difficult.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm going to be curious to see how XD tries to get back in this game. They do pick up B here, rotating Thurbach back to mid.
I like how Blitz pops his smoke, and he just basically craps all over subs with his sap secondaries. And Lex took a big hit there.
Lex just got dunked by the Ohio in almost the exact same spot. We were watching poor Claxo get dunked earlier, so a little bit of payback there. Zero going out possibly. I think he got caught on radar or something. They're trying to radar him now, but he's well out of range. They're just blindly fishing for him, but they know how low he is.
They should. They know he's exactly.
Next heal is 30 seconds away.
Oh, very close.
Very close on the blind fire.
Torp's coming in on Lex Luthor though. I don't know if he's okay. He's got a gap. He's got a gap there.
Yep.
But this Napoli might be able to get this kill if they have vision of him. He's actually coming out broadside to subs now.
I'll tell you.
Ooh, AP salvo going in on subs. That might hurt. No, not as bad as they wanted. Now, why the Des Moines Luthor opening up here? I don't like this at all. His next heal is still a little too far away. Although, okay, he's going to have it now, but why take the risk?
Yeah, I agree there.
Get that heal off, then open fire.
Gearing close range on Super Average over at C.
Yep.
Ooh, Lex 455. There's the heal.
Oh, Lady
See what I mean? Like, why take the risk? Yeah, because Carrier, here comes the Ohio shells from Carrier has arrived. Sailing in on Lex. More HE coming in from the Napoli. Like, I don't know why you'd risk this, but they're going to pick him up. Oh, the Ohio missed.
Nope, they missed. Luthor was forced forward. The problem is now he can't back up. He's stuck outside.
Alyssa's in trouble. Montana secondaries are actually dunking on Alyssa.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Alyssa's going to get away, though.
Mm-hmm.
That was an underwhelming torpedo salvo. The gearing was like
daring. Now, Thurbach's daring is in a bit of a pickle. He's gone a little too deep, maybe getting a little too greedy here. He's caught out by the Brisbane radar, pinned between two destroyers, and I think they're going to get him.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
Remember what I told you about that default's unsure? Let's just push.
They knew how low Zero was, and I think they wanted to push and secure that kill, and I think now instead they're going to end up losing a destroyer for it. Yep, there's the fire that's going to kill him, and that's going to seal the game. They have 60 seconds to make a play. Although Super Average is about to step onto C, they might have an opportunity.
Yeah, but Alyssa's going to get behind cover before, I believe. Yeah, so he's going to get on the cap.
They bagged the Ohio. That's it. He's got to step on the cap. He's got to get on the cap right now. He does. They freeze XPDN at 998.
Oh, man.
Next kill wins the game.
And so now if you're ARPDN, your win condition is kill the Montana, which ends the game, or you have to kill any other ship on the board, and that will push the score over.
Well, and Lex is just going up, guns blazing here.
I don't understand this. What is this? I'm so many questionable decisions here, and there it is. Wow. I don't know what to say, guys. I feel like XTPN had more than one opportunity to stay in that game and possibly win it, and it just felt like they didn't know when to stop.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. That sometimes when the pressure starts mounting and you look up at the clock and you look at the point totals, and sometimes it can get to a situation where you just start maybe not doing things on your own accord, but whatever the plan is at that current moment in time, individuals maybe start getting too worried about the overall situation, and then they just start making dumb decisions. Because if you wanted to go back and nitpick a few individual decisions that were made in the late game, it seemed as if they all just kind of lost their heads, lost their cool, and they were just kind of throwing chips willy-nilly in there. And yeah, that was not ideal.
All right, we're going to have a very short turn here as we head into our third game. I believe our host is Armada del Sur.